Most people use their phones to check the time, but wristwatches are still seen as stylish accessories and status symbols. But not all wristwatches make you look like $1,000,000. If you want to look good, it's easier to do better than the high-priced Rolex. Most Rolex watches cost between a few $1,000s and a few $1,000,000. Here's a list to show which Rolex watches have broken sales records. Number 10. Rolex Platinum Diamond Pearlmaster. The Day-Date collection, not the Datejust line, is the inspiration for the Rolex Platinum Diamond Pearlmaster, in contrast to its contemporary sister. The meteorite diamond used to craft the one-of-a-kind watch features 42 individual stones on the bezel of the timepiece. The watch with the 39mm dial was introduced in 2011 and sold for a starting price of $277,850. Number 9. Jack of Diamonds. The Jack of Diamonds Rolex is worth $1 million, $1.63 million to be exact, as soon as you look at it. The buckled strap is made of 18-karat gold, and the face is surrounded by colorless diamonds that sparkle. Behind the case, you can also see a face covered in precious stones that shine brightly. Also, a sparkling blue sapphire stands in for each hour. Even though these blue sapphires aren't the most expensive, they give this already luxurious Rolex a touch of luxury that can't be denied. This Rolex was made in the 1980s, which makes it even more expensive. Number 8. Rolex GMT Master 2 Ice. During the 14th Dubai International Sports Conference, the world-famous football player Cristiano Ronaldo revealed a Rolex GMT Master Ice watch to the audience. The Rolex that can be purchased brand new costs the most. It has a suggested retail price of $485,350, but the actual cost may be higher or lower. This is because the diamond demand level will determine the price you pay at your purchase. Number 7. Jack Nicklaus Rolex. In 1967, Rolex gave the famous golfer Jack Nicklaus this yellow gold day-date. Since then, he's worn it almost every day. The Golden Bear, Jack Nicklaus, wore this Rolex when he won 12 of his record 18 professional major championships. Nicklaus' watch was often in pictures when he lifted the championship trophy after winning. The yellow gold day-date on a president bracelet is one of the most famous watches in the world and Rolex's most prestigious model. Jack Nicklaus said, "This is the first watch I've ever owned, and it's the only watch I've worn to every professional tournament I've won. It has been with me to US Opens, Masters tournaments, PGA championships, Open championships, and countless other events for more than 50 years, and it has helped me every step of the way." At a Phillips auction in December 2019, the watch sold for $1.22 million. Number 6. The Neanderthal. The Rolex Daytona is among the kinds and designs of Rolex watches that are the most sought after and expensive. Depending on the model, a Rolex Daytona wristwatch can cost anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. This price range, however, is easily surpassed by the Neanderthal Rolex, which is a Rolex Daytona reference 6240 from 1966 and sold for $3.01 million in 2018. It features a sophisticated silver and black appearance that goes well with the antique components it possesses. Number 5. Eric Clapton's Rolex Oyster Albino Cosmograph Daytona. Eric Clapton's Daytona, called the Rolex Oyster Albino Cosmograph, was sold twice at public auctions for a lot of money. The first time was in 2003 in New York, where Sotheby's auction sold the watch for $555,000. 12 years later, in May 2015, Eric Clapton's Daytona was sold again, but this time in a Phillips auction in Geneva for $1.4 million, almost 3 times what it had been sold for. The Rolex Oyster Albino Daytona is special because only 4 pieces are made with a single colored dial. Its first owner was a famous person. Most Daytona dials have 2 colors so that the totalizers for the timepiece stand out from the rest of the dial. Number 4. The Legend. In 2016, the Legend Rolex was, for a short time, the most expensive Rolex Daytona in the world. At the Geneva watch auction, this old gold and blue wristwatch sold for $3.71 million, a record for about 5 months. This 18-karat yellow gold watch is one of only 2 that are the same. This makes it one of the rarest and most expensive Rolex watches from the late 1960s. As a comparison, this Rolex is more expensive than the most expensive Richard Mille watch. Number 3. Marlon Brando's Apocalypse Now Rolex GMT Master. This Rolex GMT Ref 1675, which Marlon Brando wore in the movie Apocalypse Now, sold at a Phillips auction in December 2019 for $1.952 million. The 1972 Rolex GMT Master sold for much more than expected at the Phillips Game Changers event, which was a good name for the auction. Marlon Brando, who won an Oscar, wore the watch with a black strap and no bezel. Francis Ford Coppola did ask Brando to take off the bezel because it would be too noticeable in the movie. Number 2, the unicorn. The unicorn is almost the most beautiful and well-like mythical creature there is. And when it comes to Rolex watches, the unicorn is one of the most valuable, rare, and attractive. When this wristwatch went to auction in 2018, it brought in $5.93 million. This Rolex Daytona is the only one made in white gold in 1970. It is a very rare find that is just as hard to find as the mythical creature it is named after. Number 1. Paul Newman's Rolex Daytona. Paul Newman's Rolex Daytona is not only the most expensive Rolex ever sold, but it is also the most expensive watch ever sold anywhere in the world. It easily beat the previous record set by a Patek Philippe watch from 1943 that sold for $11 million in 2016. The first bid for Paul Newman's Daytona started at $1 million, but the first bidder quickly raised it to $10 million, which shocked everyone in the Philips auction room. Then only 2 people bid for the watch, and the price was set at $17.8 million. So that's all for today's video. If you like this video, click the like and the bell buttons. We'll have another video for you soon. Take care until then.